All right, we are officially live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow comic book collectors. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. Hopefully you guys are able to see this because, as usual, the new YouTube program is becoming a bit of a problem. But hopefully you'll be able to see it because I got back 4 of my graded comics from PGX. Just in case, and alright, I see people coming in, so there we go. Alright, so just so you guys know, if you check the link in the description and in the live show right here in the chat room, I am still selling my comics. I've actually been now T-minus 8 days of not having any employment, which is always fun. So if you're interested in any of my comics, I would normally say go to my flea market, but that has been closed and probably will be closed for at least another month. So if anybody's interested in any of my comics, please come on over, check that link. If you don't see any and you've seen one on my video, you're more than welcome to ask about it. Worst I could say is no, including the ones I'm about to show you. If the price is right, I might think about it, but again, worst I can say is no. So don't forget to wait until the end so we can see who's today's surprise subscriber shout out. If you want one, hitting subscribe will definitely help. The more you comment in the live chat, the more likely I will see your name. So do not be shy. Come into the live chat and make your voices heard. And I also want to remind people that PGX is the grading company that I made this deal with. I don't get paid by them at all. I tried to make a deal with CGC and CBCS, but neither one ever responded to my messages. PGX was the only one that did it. I just want to let you know that they are open still, considering the situation that's going on, but there are delays because this is a box from about 2 months ago. I'm sure everybody understands that at this point. So if you're interested in sending any of your books to PGX, obviously there's CGC and CBCS, but if you're interested in trying PGX, first of all, watch my video that I did about all the grading companies. I give my honest opinion about them and my own general experience because I base it on the fact that I've used all 3 and I'm not basing it just on rumors or what other people say. So make sure you check that video out. And also, I made a deal for you guys. If you send in 10 or more and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of the comics pressed for free. So that is my little way of making sure that you guys benefit from this as well. All right, so I see enough people are here. Let me say hello to a couple of the people that are here, because if you're here early, I want to make sure I give you your own shout-out. Comic Collector, you are first. Good to see you. Tim and Amanda, good to see you again. Richard, Gary, Russ is here. Lee Smith. We got Richard. Oh, actually, I just said that. Matt, Herbert. Everybody, thank you very much for checking this out. And I have to put on the video camera, otherwise you won't be able to see anything, and that's a little crazy. Alright, so, as usual, there's only 4 comics in here, but as you can see, they protect their packages really well. Not a damage in the box ever, and there's definitely room for 20 comics in here, but I only send in 4, because I made that deal with them, and again, I do not get paid. So, they definitely protect your comics well. Now, I tell people that I don't get paid. I do make the deal with PGX where I send in 4 comics a month and they will grade them for me as long as I do the advertisements, so it's a mutual benefit. I do want to let you know, they haven't told me yet, but they said they're working on some surprises coming soon. So I'll probably be one of the first people outside the company to know what that is. So there are some special situations going on soon. As soon as I find out and I get the okay that I can talk about it, because like I said, I don't know about it yet, I will be doing that. So there could be some cool things on the horizon that they have planned. What they are, I don't know. So I'm trying to do this where I see only the back, because I don't know the grades, so we learn them together. And I always, before I show the grade, I tell you what I thought the grades would be when I originally made the video 2 months ago. They got my other books soon. They'll be coming back shortly. But again, because of the situation that everybody knows about at this point, there are delays. So expect that with any grading company at this point. But they are still open and they are still taking submissions. Just keep in mind, it'll probably be about a 30-day or more delay. But even with that, they'll still be faster than most grading companies. and you don't have to pay for the extra shipping to get it there, quote-unquote, faster. All right, so here are the 4 books. I don't know what the grades are. Neither do you, so we're going to learn together. So let me cover the first one, put the rest on the side, and here we go. All right, so the first one is my 3rd copy of the Venom #1, the gold variant. I do not remember what I paid for these because I bought them back in the 90s. So, I mean, I probably paid about $90 or so back then. But this is definitely going to be a hot book. Let me cover that, show you the back. That's another thing I like about graded comics is you can actually see the back of the comic. All right, so we'll do this. We can hide it. Okay, so I paid, well, like I said, I don't remember what I paid for it, but I'm going to predict between a 9.4 and a 9.8 with white pages. And with the Venom movie 2 coming soon, obviously it won't be in the next year or so, depending on how quick they can get rid of the situation. I'm looking forward to it. There are rumors that you might see him in the MCU one day, but that is rumors, so take it with a grain of salt. So if you guys want to make your predictions, you can. Here we go. First one is, and I finally got it. I knew this was the best of the bunch. Got myself a 9.8. I kept these in pristine condition. Absolutely love this. The reason I wanted to get these graded is I was actually selling one of these ungraded in the flea market, and somebody out there lifting them up through the boxes bent it, and with this kind of like cardboardish kind of cover, any bend you can't press out, so it's permanently there. So these, the other one that I had graded came back a 9.6, and finally got myself the 9.8. This is the gold edition. And here's something I didn't know. They actually put, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, gold edition, 1 of 11,000. So I did not know there was a print run, and I think that's a pretty cool idea that they did mention that. And they also write that first Venom in his own title, gold holographic foil cover. Obviously there are no grader's notes on this one, but that's a great way to start out. Venom #1, Lethal Protector, Gold Edition, 9.8. And it shows if you store your comics the right way, you can end up still with high grades. Because like I said, I bought this the day it came out. So this book came out in 1993, where I was 22 years old. Kept it in storage all that time, made sure it was properly stored, and it came back a 9.8. Very happy about that. So great way to start. And let's get to the next one. All right, so we have Master of Kung Fu. This is, I'm going to try and do it without seeing the grade. This is Marvel Special Marvel Edition number 15. This is the first appearance of Shang-Chi, who will be getting his own solo film. It's another one in pretty decent grade. As you can see, the back, pretty darn white. This is the best of the bunch. I bought these a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago. I paid an average of anywhere from $5 to $25, but this is the most expensive one because it was the nicest one. I paid $104.99, and that, of course, that does include shipping and handling. Does have some minor ticks here and there. There is a stain on the back there, but just a little bit of the corner right there, so not major amounts. So obviously, dry clean won't help that. But the pressing, I always recommend you get pressings. So I predicted this is about a 6.0 to a 7.0 off-white to white pages. Let's find out what we got. Alright, still not going to complain. I was fairly close. I said a 6.0 to a 7.0. And you could see that PGX is not doing me any special favors. I've been doing this grading now for 2 years. And only one comic I questioned. But remember, it's always somebody's interpretation and what they think it might be. So I'm not going to complain about a 5.5, especially since I paid $104.99 for this book. And this book is still going to go up because, you know, we haven't seen a teaser trailer, a trailer, or an end credit scene or anything like that. So you know what'll happen as soon as they start doing that stuff. It creates more of a demand from the people who don't normally collect comics or don't know what's going on. And then this book will continue to go up. Richard McDowell says, how would this current situation affect independent publishers? It's going to, like any business, it's going to affect every business right now. So I tell people hang tight And I have a video I made the other day telling people that in about 3 to 6 months is when the whole world is going to feel the effects of what's going on now. So there's probably going to be people selling stuff for pennies on the dollar. So I would recommend, unless you find a super steal right now, don't waste your money on any comics. Wait a couple of months. You'll get deals that you didn't dream were possible. So again, this is the first appearance of Shang-Chi. 5.5, not going to complain. A little bit lower than what I predicted, but I think that Waterstain did it. And this does have grader notes, so let me read the grader's notes. And by the way, if you want grader's notes, they're the only company, and this was my doing. I called Daniel Patterson, the owner, and I convinced him to allow this to happen, where they can put grader's notes on the back of the book. It's a $5 charge, but if you want the grader's notes, you got to mention it when you order and use the code We Love Comics Grader's Notes. And for $5 each, you can get the grader's notes on the back if you want them. I like it. You know, some people may not, but at least, you know, it makes the company more responsible because they're putting on there what they're saying instead of you having to search for it. And many times, they don't put anything at all. So, they wrote multiple stress lines along the spine, cover and edge wear, 6-inch corner crease front cover, 3/4 by 3/4 inch water stain on the back cover, which I talked about, and 3-inch by 1/4 inch piece cut out bottom first page. Alright, so I missed that. That's probably why it got lower than I said. So I missed this a little tiny corner of the first page that's cut out. So that will lower the grade a 0.5 point or more than what I was predicting. But overall, the pressing made it look really well. And I tell people, whatever companies that you grade with, get your books pressed, because it will absolutely help, and it will raise the value of the comic most of the time. Now, obviously, if you have something that breaks color, you can't do anything about that. But if it's a non-color breaking crease or wrinkles due to some moisture damage, it could dramatically help spine rolls and things like that. So I cannot stress more. Get your books pressed if you're getting them graded with any company. One of the things I love about PGX is they have the dry cleaning. They have the pressings and everything in-house, so it doesn't have to be shipped anywhere else where it could possibly get damaged along the way. So again, make your own mind up, do your own research. I'm just basing it on my own personal experience. Alright, so number 3. This is a book that I had to sell to get my house here in Florida. I had a 9.8, and I was fortunate enough to find another one. I got it pressed, so it may not be a 9.8, but we'll find out. It's $316.89 I paid for it. This, of course, is the first appearance of Laura Kinney, which is the daughter of Wolverine. Hopefully they will use her again when they start bringing the mutants to the MCU. I would love to see the original girl who played this in the Logan movie, but who knows what they're going to do. I guess time will tell. So I predict this is about a 9.4 to a 9.8. The one that I sold was a 9.8, but I'm happy to get this back regardless. So the grade for this one is... And well, I also said white pages, of course, because it was a newer book. 9.6. So definitely right in between. Cannot complain. Of course, white pages. Very happy with this. There is a little bit. There's some grader's notes. But obviously, with a higher grade, it's not going to have a lot. So I will close in so you can actually read that yourself. But it says, multiple minor stress lines along spine. Very tight cover, very slight cover wear. So there you go. Because when you have a 9.6, you're allowed a couple of imperfections. Same with 9.8. 9.8 means you can have a couple of minor imperfections. So absolutely very happy with a 9.6. I think this one still has room to grow. We will see. So that leaves, last but not least, this is a low-grade book, but like I always say, and follow me with it, low grade is better than no grade, because if you can't afford a higher grade book and you never get it, well, how does that benefit you in any way? So, this is one of 2 of these that I got a couple of years ago. Paid such a good price, it wouldn't even matter if this came back a 0.5. This is Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1. Is it number 1? Yes, Annual Number 1. This is the first appearance of Sinister Six. We already know at this point that they are using them in the movies in the future. Now, obviously, anything that hasn't happened yet can change, so nothing is guaranteed until it happens. but the chances of this, I would say, are a good 95% happening. So this is a book that's going to continue to be in demand. I was telling people for years to get this book. I have 2 copies. Again, these are lower grade copies, but low grade is better than no grade. So I only paid $69.88 for this book. So it can come back a 0.5, and I'm going to go be ahead of this. And that's why I always tell people, make sure you do your research. Make sure you know what comics are going for, what's hot, and get them before most people know about them, so you're not overspending. So even though this is a lower grade, I can make a decent amount of money on this if I turn around and sell it, because I paid such a low price. So it does have some minor damage, but I'm going to cover the grade. You can see the back is complete, but there is some spine ticks. There is a crease that goes all the way up. There's some tears at the top. I mean, there's a split at the bottom right here. So there's a split that goes up to here. So this is definitely a lower grade book, but I'm like, again, for what I paid for it, I'm not going to complain. So again, I paid $69.88. I'm going to predict about a 1.8 to a 2.5 with off-white pages. Last book for this video. And remember, don't forget to wait until the end to see who's today's surprise subscriber shout out. And also check the link, the description in the link. I also want you to sign up for the cashback program. Cashback program, it's free to sign up. If you click on the link and you spend $25 or more in any of the qualifying places, you get a $10 additional cashback bonus, and I get a one-time referral fee, so you help my channel. Because remember, guys, I'm out of work. I haven't had a job since last Saturday, so anybody can sign up or even share the link if you already have. I would definitely appreciate it. So last but not least, I predicted a 1.8 to a 2.5. Survey says, all right, a 3.0, so 1/2 point higher than what I said. So definitely cannot complain about that. The pressing absolutely helped it. I also did a dry cleaning. So again, still a low grade book. So I was half off in the higher end on one of the books and a half off on the lower end for this. So 3.0, definitely not going to complain. They said off-white to white pages. What did I say? I said off-white, so I was pretty much spot on. But this, of course, like they say, it came out in 1964. Steve Ditko art, Stan Lee story. First appearance of the Sinister Six, which is Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven, Mysterio, Sandman, Vulture. Origin of Spider-Man retold. Again, not major damage, but definitely will qualify for a 3.0. Let's see what the graders notes say on this. So we got a 1-inch spine split chip at top, reading crease on front cover, 1-inch spine tear at bottom. I showed that. Multiple stress lines along the spine, which is expected for a thicker book. Multiple significant creases, dirty front and back cover. So the dry clean got most of it, but can't get all of it. And a 1-inch by 1/2 inch edge chip on front cover. So that's right there. So not anything absolutely major. So I actually, if I'm going to be wrong, I like to be wrong on the lower end than the higher end. Because if I'm wrong and it's higher, it's a more pleasant surprise. So overall, as you could see, looks pretty darn good. Definitely would qualify easily for a 3.0. You could see no major chunks missing or anything other than that one little piece on the front. There is some spine ticks and things like that, some creases that do break color. But of course, that's why it's a 3.0. So the 4 books, in case you missed it, we got Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1, 3.0 with off-white to white pages. NYX Number 3, first appearance of X-23 / Laura Kinney, 9.6 white pages. Special Marvel Edition 15, first appearance of Shang-Chi, 5.5 off-white to white pages. And last but not least, very happy about this one. Finally, out of the 3 comics I got, Venom Number 1, Gold Variant, 9.8. Bought this the day it came out. So it shows if you store your comics properly, you can still get high grades, and of course with white pages. So absolutely cannot complain about that. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out. If you can be so kind to give it a thumbs up, it will help. So far 8 people have given it a thumbs up. Thank you for those 8 people who care enough with the hard work that I try and do. Let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. We're going to go with somebody I have not seen here before, I don't believe. I'm going to do two of them today. We're going to do Willie Survive and Wendell Sat. So both of you are the surprise subscriber shout-outs. So give them a shout-out as well. Thank you so much for participating and for the thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Check out the videos I've done in the past. There's plenty of them that will teach you the proper ways to collect. I hope everybody's safe right now. All I can say is trust your own instincts. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I do not believe this situation is going to be as dramatically horrible as they tried to make it seem. I'm not saying it's not anything bad, and there are people who are, you know, being majorly inconvenienced, because like I said, I lost all of my jobs, and I haven't worked in over a week, so I've been basically sitting at home. Any amenities here in Florida have been shut down, so there's no restaurants. We can't even go to the pools, can't go to the beaches. They closed them down. Most of the stores are closed, so I don't work in my bars anymore. All bars have been shut down. So, you know, I've been getting a little cabin fever myself, so I know what it's like, and all I can say is just hang in there. As they say, this too shall pass. Check out some of my videos to pass some time. Give them thumbs up if you think they are good enough to deserve them. I will have more videos when I can, but just hang in there, stay positive, and things will always turn out to be better. And if you learn anything about tragedy in history, most of the best inventions and ideas and situations come from bad times. You know, there were more inventions that we use today that came out of World War II, for example. So humans are at their best when their backs are against the wall. So sometimes you need bad situations to get the best out of people. Because, you know, if it's a world where everything's perfect, there's no incentive to learn, to grow, to invent. A lot of times inventions come from necessity. And a lot of times that's when there's struggles. So think positive, and remember, any bad situation, if you can make something good come from it, means that that bad situation was basically the fuel to light the fire to go where you need to go. So I understand, and trust me, this is coming from a person who's almost died 7 times from breathing problems. So if anything, I should be more concerned than most people, because I have an immune system that could easily contract this kind of situation and cause me a lot of problems. For all I know, back when I was in the hospital back in November, for all I know, because they said they did not know what it was that I had. They said the only thing they could think of was a lung infection. I mean, what if I was one of the earlier cases that actually got it? I'm not saying I did, but since they didn't know, and basically I almost died from it, you know, I'm one of those people that's been in the situation, so I can be one of those people that can say I'm very concerned. I mean, I'm going to be 50 years old, so I'm in the older age bracket. I already have breathing problems. So, you know, if I'm not worried, most people should not be worried. That doesn't mean don't be careful and don't research and don't learn. But what I'm saying is don't panic to the point where you can't think and you ruin your life sitting around thinking any moment you're going to die. Because, spoiler alert, you could be the healthiest person in the world, and one day your time is going to come. So if you spend your whole life worrying about that, you're never going to live. You're just going to survive. And there's a huge difference between surviving and living. And right now, with most of the world being cramped in their houses, not being allowed to go out and, you know, only getting food and things, right now we're surviving. How fun is that? So if anything, it may make people appreciate what they had, because like they say, you don't know what you got until it's gone. I tend to be more positive. If you want to be one of those people that lives in fear and is scared about everything, you have that right. But ask yourself, is that a healthy way to live, and is it a way that's going to make you a better person? And I'll leave that up to you. So thank you for listening. Richard says, do you have asthma? I've had asthma all of my life, and like I said, I've almost died from it 7 times. As a matter of fact, I've been in the hospital twice since I've been here, and I actually have videos here on this channel where I was in the hospital. The night that I went in, I was dying on my bathroom floor. I could not even stand up, could not get dressed. They had to have the ambulance come, pick me up, and take me to the hospital. And I wouldn't have made it if I didn't, because I'm stubborn and I don't have health insurance. So I've always, even the times, other times I've almost died from my breathing problems, I never called an ambulance because I couldn't afford it. So I was very stubborn. This was the one time that I knew I was fading away. I was getting to the point I was sitting on the toilet, then I was laying against the tub, then I was falling down to the ground, and I was panting like a dog that just ran a marathon. And it was getting shorter and shorter, and my brain finally said to me, go to sleep. And I knew if I did that, I wasn't waking up. Now, my wife was in the other room. She didn't know what was going on. She just thought I was in the bathroom. And I did not have the oxygen power to scream out to my wife, who was literally just in the other room. The only thing that saved me is my cat Oregon, because he wanted to get into the bathroom and he started scratching, and my wife heard that only to see me almost passed out on the floor, and I told her to call the ambulance. So life can throw you lemons. Life can be hard, but if you can learn from it, like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know, people are so paranoid about fighting infections and things like that. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you fight off all bacteria, all infections, you actually affect your immune system. Your body needs to get these things into the body in small amounts, so this way your body can create antigens and antibodies and actually have your white blood cells actually learn how to fight an infection. If you're one of those people that sterilizes everything all the time, you're actually hurting your immune system. Now, that's one of the things that doctors are not telling you right now. So we have to find a balance. Too much of anything is not good for you, and that includes over-sanitizing everything in your house, because then you're affecting your immune system. So like I say, always do your own research. It doesn't hurt to hear other people's opinions, but you have to do your own research. If you base your life on what other people tell you, you better hope you're hitching your horse to the right wagon, because a lot of people out there benefit from people's ignorance and fear. And there's an expression that our forefathers said back in the days, Benjamin Franklin. He said, and I don't have the direct quote, but he basically said, if you give up liberty for security, you will have neither. So just be very careful about that. Be smart. If you're sick, stay home. If you know anybody that's sick, stay away from them. Try and help in any way you can. But don't sit there scared to death that your life is going to end, because, like I said, spoiler alert, one day it will. So why not enjoy your life that you have? And that's one of the things I learned the last time I was dying on that bathroom floor. As much as there were times in my life I would have easily just closed my eyes and said, screw it. You know what? It made me appreciate life and what I have even more. So think from a positive point of view, not always the glass is half empty. Because to me, in my opinion, that's a really bad way to live, and you're never going to be happy, and you're never going to have fun, you're never going to live your life if you're always worried about what's coming down the road. I look at a surprise, you can look at it as a negative thing. To me, you ever have a birthday surprise where you get a gift and you don't know what it is, but aren't you excited? What about fear? Ever been on a roller coaster? Isn't it scary? But it's also fun. So you can go in two different directions with the same exact thing. It's all about your perspective. So you could be scared and realize that fear is to keep you protected. Because if you're afraid of a spider that could kill you, well, your fear is keeping you safe. So just imagine if you lost that fear. In that sense, well, you could die. So is fear really that bad? But fear is also exciting. It's the unknown. Not all unknown is negative, but if you watch the news all the time, that's all they're going to tell you is negative this and negative that. So right now only 14 people are watching, so not many people care about this stuff because most people don't want to hear it. And that's okay. The few people that are the ones that are going to benefit. So if you're one of those people, make your voices heard in the comment section, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and don't forget, it is not you, it is not I, it's We Love Comics. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe out there, and I will see you next video. Hasta la vista, baby.